Hey guys, how is everybody doing today? So I was looking at watching YouTube today, as I usually do. Usually watch a couple of videos a day, and I was thinking to myself, you've got some guys out there with supercars who make vlogs. Well, not vlogs, but they have a YouTube channel and they make videos, maybe not every day, but they do make videos quite regularly about their supercars that they have, whether it be a McLaren, a Lamborghini, an Audi, Ferrari, whatever the case may be, whatever they have. And I was thinking, you know, these guys are not spending small money on these cars. They're spending 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 grand, 120 grand on a car. And I was thinking to myself, if I had 120,000 pounds or euros, whichever way you want to look at it, would I spend that money on a new car? Now, there's pluses and minuses to that. Obviously, pluses and minuses to that argument. But what I was thinking, what I would like to do, if I had 100k to drop on a supercar, on a car that I wasn't going to drive every day, or perhaps that I would drive every day, would I buy a McLaren 640, 760, 720, 840, whatever they are, the McLarens? Oh, come on, filet. Well, look, there's no arguing the performance. I think for the money, for 100 grand, for 100 grand, a McLaren or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini is probably the fastest way to travel down a road. And it's probably a nice experience, but I'm thinking maybe I wouldn't do it, and I would get a car that just looks like a car, a shape that I really like. For example, I do like a lot the Mercedes 190e, and I was looking at one. Went for auction in Arizona a few weeks ago, the Evo 2. Now that looks absolutely amazing, and you can buy that kit or something very close to it, like a replica, for, I don't know, 2,000-3,000. Basically a drop in the ocean when it comes to 100 grand. So maybe I would get a Mercedes 190e, I'd get the Evo 2 body kit. Interior, first of all, I'd be putting a roll cage in it, and I would be putting, you know, like a very low profile roll cage. I don't want a roll cage that's obvious. I just want a roll cage that increases the stiffness and sort of brings up the safety of the car to modern standards, without being invasive, without compromising the usability of the car. So how much is that going to cost? A low profile roll cage, 3,000-4,000, maybe 5, call it 5. So I've got the shell sorted out, and say you're going to spend another 3,000 to prep the shell how you want it, or call it 5 to completely rejuvenate the shell, put the roll cage in it and put the thing on it. So say it's 2, it's 5, so there's 12 grand, and that's you've got a modern shell, looks the business. And then you're looking at interior. So interior wise, you can probably spend another 5 grand on the interior. Put the nicest bucket seats that you can imagine in the front, nice carpets in there, upgrade the dash to modern standards, or leave it as it. Oh, look at this fucking Polo. Or leave it as it is if you like the way it looks, and just, you know, upgrade the lighting with LEDs and however you want, you know, LED backlighting, just to make everything look a little bit brighter. You could put a digital dash in it, you know, like a motorsport digital dash. Steering wheel, you can get aftermarket steering wheels with airbags. So you got the interior, the body sorted out. Then you're looking at drivetrain. Well, suspension. Let's have a look at suspension. Suspension. Well, I'd be looking at probably transplanting something a bit more modern into that shell. So maybe something that is proven to take in the power. Look, I'm not going to go and spend $1 gazillion on re-engineering the wheel. I'll take a car that already exists. I don't really care how old it is, that can handle the power and has got good grip. So you know, Sylvia 200SX axle, rear axle and suspension, BMW M3 E36. I mean, you see some of them with huge, putting out big power. Supra rear end, Skyline GDS rear end, something like that, that's got, like I said, good, that can take power and is proven. So that's the running gear sorted out. Front suspension, again, go for something that's really grippy. Maybe even transplant a R32 front suspension into the car, R34. Again, I don't really know what the limit of the 190E is, and you know, what sort of quality we're looking at. But like worst case scenario, I mean, we've got a huge budget to work with here, so let's say another $5,000 for the let's call it 10 to do the chassis how we want it, worst case scenario, and that includes drivetrain, gearbox and engine. And so that's the next thing, gearbox and engine, what are we going to put in it? Again, depends on space, but I'm thinking straight 6 in a perfect world, RP26 or a 2JZ. And so what are you looking for? A built motor, full complete, you know, that's good, it's good for everything. Say 15 grand. 15 grand, and I'd be hoping that's going to be making like 800 horsepower for 15 grand. Call it 20 if you want, let's go crazy. So I'm not sure where we are on it. We've got 20 for the engine, 5 for the suspension, 5, let's say there's another 6. So that's 50 grand, and we've got we're more or less there. We've got an 800 horsepower 4-door sedan with modern levels of safety, but it looks the absolute business. Now, would I rather spend 50, 60 grand on a new car? What are you going to get for 50, 60 grand these days? An M4, a BMW M4 with what, 400 horsepower, let's say. Or would I take a Mercedes 190E with like 700 horsepower that looks amazing? I don't think, for me it's not even close. I would take the Mercedes every day of the week. And resale value, well, you gotta choose a shell that is popular. If you're gonna think about resale value, you can't just choose what you want or what you think looks nice. You've got to choose a car that people like, that is popular. So what the going on here? we're looking at BMW E30, for example. I mean, there is a surefire winner there with a resale value. Apparently it's got quite a good suspension on it from the factory. And you know, okay, resale value, the M4 is going to go down in price by the time you've sold that on. But maybe I'm completely missing the point. I don't know. But for me, if I had big money to spend on a car and I want, you know, something special, proven reliability that I can use every day, if I had the time and the money, because obviously this is not something that you can just go and buy immediately and then just drive on the road. You know, you're going to have to build this car, and it's going to take a while. If you're going to be paying a company to build the car for you, you're going to have to wait. But then again, if you're going to order a BMW M4, a Porsche, what's the waiting list on these things to get it how you want it? 6 months, 7 months. And then at the end, I think the Mercedes is going to be more reliable than the BMW. Honest to God, it's going to be much simpler for sure. I mean, you've got years, like if you use a Skyline, for example, or Supra, if you want to go down that road. Supra, the 2JZ, you've got how many years? 20, 30 years of massive development on that engine. All the bugs have been worked out, and the same goes for the gearbox, and the same goes for the transmission, the same goes for the suspension. The reliability is going to be 100%, I think. So yeah, if I was let me say in another way, if I had, say, 60 grand in my pocket to buy a car that I'm going to order, that I'm going to have to wait for anyway, what am I going to do? Am I going to go down and buy something new? Or am I going to go and buy something that I like? And then I can put whatever comfort I want into the car. Like I said, the stiffness is probably the biggest thing with the old cars. That's going to be fixed. Sound, insulation, that is going to be fixed. I'm going to put another 100 kilo into that car, probably 150 kilo into that car for sound insulation, which is going to bring it up to modern standards. It's also going to improve the ride. And then you've got okay, brakes, wheels. So you're going to spend, what are you going to spend on wheels and tyres? I mean, how much can you spend? £3,000 on a set of wheels, and you're probably going to have the best wheels in the world for 3 grand. You're going to spend what? Another 2 grand on tyres, maximum. So that's 5 grand, wheels and tyres. Brakes, you're going to spend, how much you're going to spend? You're not even going to need, you're not going to need massive discs on the car. You're probably on a 700 horsepower Mercedes 190e. I think 330s are going to do it, and if you want to go crazy, put 356s on it. So you're going to get change out of £4,000 for front and rear brake kit on that car. And that's just going to be total reliability, totally fast, and it's going to have modern levels of grip and performance and modern levels of safety. Okay, it's not going to have the airbags in it, but it's going to have everything else. But I suppose it's not going to have the cachet of having a new Porsche. But I don't know, people are restoring Porsches. They're going for huge money now. I don't know, why does it have to be limited to Porsches? That's my thoughts on it. I'm not saying I wouldn't go out and put 50 grand down on a or 60 grand. However, I don't even know how much an M4 is. 60 grand, is it? 70 grand? I'm not saying I wouldn't do that. I can understand it, and maybe it would be nice, but then again, I think it would also be nice to have a 67, you know, well, I'm not going to spend 60 grand on the 190. Say it's going to be 20 grand for the engine, for another 40. Say it's, okay, maybe I'm going to be around the same at the end, when it's all said and done, but I'm going to have a new Mercedes 190e. Or a BMW E30, whatever you want. And what's going to be more special? I know from it, you know, if the big question for me would be, can I make it drive like a new car? Because I don't want to be spending 60 grand on, you know, to get a 190e if the grip and the performance is still not up to par with a new car. I mean, I'd have to go, I suppose the only way you'd find that out is to go and drive maybe a race prepped 190e, and just to see what potential is in the car. You know, like there's a race prep 190e, can that keep up with a rock stock M4? For example, just use M4 as an example. Can it? Or a rock stock M3? Because if it can't, sort of defeats the whole point of the exercise then. Okay, I want the 190e because it looks fantastic. It goes, it's fast, it's different. But if the performance is in there, then it's kind of for me, it's not. It kind of, I need the performance if we're going to spend that money. I'm going to need the performance if I'm spending the money, especially cornering. And I suppose maybe you're just going to have to start with a better base. I mean, if the 190 is just not going to cut it, or the E30 M3, maybe it's just not going to cut it, then maybe you need to go something else. But then again, it depends what you want. Do you want a car that's enjoyable to drive? Maybe it doesn't have the same cornering G's as again, an M4 or an M3, but it's just as nice to drive. Or do you want a car that's got all the G-forces in it and you know, that can keep up with them? Anyway, those are my thoughts. I thought I'd just do a video. What would I do if I had 60 grand? Would I buy an old car or a new car? If you like a video, guys, vote on the channel, vote on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next time.